it's Tayler Silverduke, registered dietitian specializing in celiac disease, and let's talk about something that I commonly hear around the holiday season, which is, are the holiday shaped Reese's gluten-free in the United States? And I will hear yes and no from lots of different people. I want to dive into it. I'm going to break down the label. I'm going to break it all down for you so you can know whether or not this is going to be an option for you if you live in the United States and you love holiday shaped Reese's. So we're going to be doing this for the pumpkin and Halloween shaped ones. However, this does apply to other Reese's. Just make sure manufacturing, ingredients, etc., they all change. So make sure you're checking the food label, checking for any changes. But based on the information that I gathered for this video, this is where we're at when it comes to the holiday shaped Reese's. So let's kind of do this so you can see the screen a little bit better. All right. So when I'm teaching someone how to read a food label in the United States, I like to cover two different acronyms. I'm not, for brevity's sake, going to go deep into both of these acronyms, but this is kind of how I teach people. So if these are new to you, you've never seen the CANS acronym, if you've never seen the BROW acronym, this is how I teach people how to read a food label. The CANS acronym are the 4 simple steps I teach you to follow when it comes to evaluating the safety of an item. And then the BROW acronym is for that end step, looking for those clearly not safe ingredients. If you want to dive deep into this, you want to understand all the intricacies of a food label in the United States, you want to know what a gluten-free claim is, what a gluten-free certification is, what those mean for your safety. You want to know what an allergen statement is, what an allergen advisory is, what do you do if it says made on the same equipment as, made in the same facility as, what do those things mean, what does the research say, what are we actually concerned about, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot to cover when it comes to food labels. Can't cover it in this video, but I do have a completely free training for you that breaks all of this down in great detail. In this video, I'm only going to be talking about all of this and how it directly applies to the Reese's label. So this is what we're going to be working with, but if you want all of the information, all of the detail, you want to be able to do this for yourself, check out the link in check out the link in the description box, sign up for that free class. You can watch it literally right now and get all of this under your belt and feel like you know what you're doing when you're looking at a food label, and you can do it quickly in 4 simple steps. So this is what we're going to be working with, though. So we are looking at this food label for Reese's. All right, so I've blown this up a little bit. Hopefully you can read this. We're going to start with the CANS acronym, and we're going to start with looking for a gluten-free claim or certification. So this is where I see a lot of people with celiac start to freak out when it comes to the holiday-shaped Reese's, because most Reese's that are gluten-free have a gluten-free claim on them. So if you look at it like a normal Reese's cup, it says gluten-free. So why does this not say gluten-free? People start to panic. And understandably, what is going on? Why doesn't it say gluten-free when all your other stuff says gluten-free? It is giving sus. I'm not going to lie. As a celiac myself, I'm like, what is happening here? And this is partially why I decided to do such a deep dive. So, there's no gluten-free claim or certification. That means we need to do more digging. We need to look at the allergen statement. This is the contains statement. Now, this is this is a ingredient of a single serve. This is coming out of a bag. So this typically would have in the United States a contains peanut statement, but it doesn't, but it would. It does not have a contains wheat statement. So in the United States, they have to label if a product has one of the top 8 allergens as of filming this, and that includes peanuts and wheat. So peanuts and dairy would have to be listed here, peanuts and milk, but there is no wheat in this, so it does not say contains wheat. So there's no allergen statement that says contains wheat. We can move on to the not safe ingredients. This is where we're going back to that BROWS acronym. B for barley, R for rye, O for oats, if not meeting certain requirements, and then wheat. So we're looking for clear, obvious signs of gluten here. So we're going to look through the ingredients. We're seeing peanuts, milk, chocolate. So those are the 2 allergen things that have to be called out. Peanuts and milk. But we're looking at, sugar, cocoa butter, chocolate, skim milk, milk fat, lactose, soy lecithin, PGPR, sugar, dextrose, 2% or less of vegetable oil. And then it lists several oils: salt, chocolate, whey, skim milk, soy lecithin, TBHQ, citric acid, and vanilla and artificial flavor. So there's no clear, obvious signs of not safe ingredients here. No brow ingredients. So now we're looking for those suspicious ingredients. Those ingredients that could potentially hide gluten. I'm not going to like cover all those things that we're looking for. Again, if you want all of that, check out that free label reading class down below. But there are 2 ingredients here that I know people are going to be stuck on. There might be more, so if you're stuck on some other ones, check out that free class and feel free to comment down below what you're worried about. But here I see 2 that I commonly hear people get stuck on, and that is going to be dextrose and artificial flavor. So I'll just break those 2 down really quick for you before we move on. So dextrose is almost a pure glucose form. It's glucose, but it's like a pure sugar, but it is often used in like things like a tube feed for providing nutrition. It's basically pure sugar. That's what dextrose is. When with celiac disease, we are worried about gluten. That's a protein. So this is like pure sugar, but dextrose can be derived from wheat starch. So we're not really worried about it in the United States simply because it is basically pure sugar. Gluten is not in it. It's the way that we get dextrose, it's pure sugar. We don't have to worry about it in the United States. So that's why we're not worried about it. I'll also leave some resources down below if you want to read more about dextrose. Then we get into artificial flavors, and people often confuse artificial flavors, which are always gluten-free, with natural flavors, which as of filming this in the United States, sometimes can hide gluten. And so that's why like some people will get stuck on that, but it's gluten-free. So we're not seeing any ingredients here that are raising red flags that we need to either follow up with a company or that are just like downright containing obviously gluten. So this appears to be gluten-free based on the ingredients. Let's do some more digging. So I contacted Hershey's myself because I was seeing so much discourse around these holiday shaped flavors online. And I'm going to flip this a little bit just so that you can see me a little bit better. Oh, but now I feel like you can't see that. Okay, so we'll just go with this. And here's what they had to say when I was asking them about these products. So they said that seasonal shapes are not marketed with a gluten-free claim, but they do not include gluten ingredients, like we just discovered when we broke down that food label. But they did say that it can be processed on lines that could process gluten-containing products. But most of those lines don't. In the event that a gluten-containing item was run on the same equipment as the holiday shapes, there are robust allergen controls in place to prevent cross-contact. They do not have a gluten-free claim on every item where an item is gluten-free. So here we can look at this and say, okay, so they've got cross-contact protocols. They're making sure when they are switching lines for different products, they've got allergen protocols to prevent that cross-contact. We looked at the label. They're confirming none of the ingredients contain gluten. None of the ingredients are gluten. We looked at the label. We can confirm that. So are the holiday shape Reese safe? I would say generally yes. Now, that said, whenever I share this with people, a lot of people will try to say like, oh, well, I reacted. So obviously make the best decision for yourself. I also want to draw some attention to a few other things in this. There are a lot of reasons why someone could react. I can't speculate as to all of the reasons, but I will say one of the bigger things, and I'll leave resources down below on this too, is there is lactose. It's actually one of the larger ingredients in this. Lactose is commonly, lots of people with celiac are intolerant to lactose. It commonly is not properly digested by people with celiac for a lot of reasons, mainly because the damage that happens with celiac disease can impact the brush border where lactase, which breaks down and digests lactose, the release of that enzyme is impaired, and then now they can't tolerate lactose, so that could potentially be why someone doesn't feel well after eating these. There are a lot of other reasons why. Obviously, if you feel sick eating these, don't eat them, but based on what we've discovered, they should be gluten-free and safe for people with celiac generally. So why does it matter? Why did I go through all of this? Why did I do all this research to tell you this? Because I know it seems like kind of like a weird thing to go on a whole, long discussion on. But I really believe we're restricted as it is. These are such a fun thing. And especially for kids too, this can be such a fun thing. I believe if it is an option, it should be allowed to be an option for people with celiac. We like eating fun-shaped things too. So I want to be able to have it as an option if it is an option. And it appears to be a generally safe option. So based on all of that info, I believe that they are generally gluten-free and safe. Obviously, do what makes you feel best, make the best decision for you, make your own informed choice. But as a celiac of 10 plus years, I'll be eating them. Most also because they taste better. But I don't know, like, what do you think? Do you think a holiday shape Reese's taste better, or do you think normal Reese's taste better? I personally think the holiday shapes just, they hit different. It could be just that they're shaped differently. I don't know. Some people seem to think like there's just, like they got more peanut butter, a better peanut butter to chocolate ratio. They just taste better. That's all I know. So generally, I would say, for the most part, they're going to be safe for people with celiac in the USA. But you might have heard different from from other people. It depends on who you're talking to. So other dietitians might have said it's not safe. There are a lot of varying opinions when it comes to celiac safety and how to approach a gluten-free diet in the celiac dietitian space, but also in the celiac space as a whole. My approach as a celiac specialized registered dietitian is to help people live the least restrictive lifestyle as possible for them, which means I often take a much more liberal, if you will, stance as we get evidence for those stances. So here, I've got a lot of evidence saying that these Reese's are likely generally safe for people with celiac. I actually don't have any evidence saying that they're not. So that is why I'm saying they're generally safe. Other dietitians may be more conservative, especially in a public setting, because of the limitations and restrictions of the nature of social media content, YouTube content, all the content that is up on the internet. It's very fair. It's a very fair approach, and also why you may see a lot of incongruencies in messaging, because maybe they take a more conservative stance publicly. Maybe they have a different approach than me. So ultimately, if you are told to do something different from anything that I share anywhere by your healthcare provider, make sure before you make any changes, you are talking to them, you're discussing your options with them. But this is why you might see some incongruencies in messaging between dietitians and other celiacs and associations, etc. That said, like I just said, my page should never substitute investing in celiac safety training and care from a dietitian. Again, if your healthcare team to say to do anything different, make sure you are following their advice and discussing with them before you make any changes, because they are more aware of your unique circumstances than I am. And note that your comfort level matters. So I'm sharing all of this not to tell you that you have to eat Holiday Reese's or that you're wrong for not eating holiday shaped Reese's, but to provide you with more information to help you make a choice out of informed caution rather than fear. Now, if all of this surprised you, if you learned something, I want to really encourage you to sign up for that free label reading class that I told you about down below. It's linked down below. You can sign up. It's totally free. It's really going to help you. It's really going to change your life and make things so much simpler when it comes to grocery shopping. I'm so confident in that. If you found this video helpful, if you found it eye-opening, mind-boggling, and you want to learn more, it's totally free. Please sign up for it. It's going to be really helpful. It's linked down below. The other thing I want to touch on really quick, because I just have a feeling someone's going to comment this. I always get a comment about this anytime I talk about this, which is there was this myth that went around that Hershey's would dust the holiday shape molds with wheat flour to prevent sticking, and that was one of the things that was kind of used to say that these were not safe. When I contacted Hershey's and called them and asked them about this, they were like, they've never heard of that. They don't know where that claim came from, but they've never done that. The person that I talked to told me that. So this is like, that's unfounded. That is also something that I often see when it comes to misinformation with celiac disease. Someone will make like some weird claim like that is really hard to prove or disprove. So that's something to keep your eye out when it comes to misinformation with celiac disease. It's kind of like that word of mouth thing that like no one can confirm or not confirm. And I talked to Hershey about it. I was like, what is going on here? How is this even possible? That's something to watch out for. If you're looking for other things to watch out for, I have a video on somebody using a similar tactic when it came to saying that salt wasn't always gluten-free. If you're curious, you can check out the video down below as well. But all of that said, again, if you need help with reading food labels in the United States and you want to learn my 4-step simple process to it, you want to know all the intricacies, link is in the description. Definitely watch that free class. My name is Tayler. Let me know, do you think Holiday Reese's taste better than regular Reese's? Will you be trying Holiday Reese's? Let me know in the comments. And all of that said, I respect Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I respect your choice, and I will see you when I see you.